Hello and welcome to the Bonehead Championship. I'm Ben for the Bonehead Podcast, and today we've got the Round 4 Match 1 preview. This weekend, the game is going to be between the Midheim Crawlers, our Necromantic team, and our Skaven team, the Nether Bay Nightmares. So we took a 2-week bye for the tournament and everything, and now we're back. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the teams, we'll talk through the coaches, and then most importantly of all, we're going to go back and have a look at our Viewer Championship. So first up, let's have a look at the teams that are going to be playing. So we've got our Skaven team, the Nether Bay Nightmares. So the team's sitting at 1-1 and 1 at the moment, exactly average results, which is a bit unusual for a Skaven team. However, it is a bit unusual for a Skaven team. This build has got the Rat Ogre and started out with the Rat Ogre and only 2 of the Gutter Runners. And unfortunately, as you can tell, it's just taken a solid beating. If you watched the round 3 game with Skaven, you'll know that it's my fault. However, the team is doing just fine. So one blitzer is dead and another blitzer is gone and a gutter runner is out. They did have enough money to pick up another gutter runner. So player 5 joins the Nether Bay Nightmares, Zeke Cloudfeets, as a gutter runner. So this team has got no blitzers for this game and only 2 gutters. So a bit of a maimed and lamed Skaven team. But the linemen are doing really well, which is really unusual for a Skaven team, especially a Skaven team that's got anything to do with me. So what we've got 1 gutter runner with block, Ratfink 3 toes, we've got Click Warp Slinger, who's got accurate and 5 SPP, but we've got Queet, our lineman, with block. We've got Stormnose with tackle and Gritlock with kick as well. So we should be able to use that kick to put the ball where we want it to be. We've only got 2 gutter runners, but we can use that to our advantage. Queet is going to be our blitzer this game. Queet is going to be everything we've got from an offensive point of view. Ratfink with the block is going to stay alive potentially, so look out for number 3 to be our massive scoring threat. We've got the toxic Ratvenger, our Rat Ogre, with no SPP, so we've got him as an alternative blitzer, and we've got Queet as a block blitzer. We've also got Stormnose with tackle, who's going to come in handy against those ghouls, but a little bit low on the defensive front here for Skaven. We're going to end up with 2 journeymen, 2 blockers, and one of them strength 2. However, this team's going up against a team with 2 werewolves. I will be piloting the Nether Bay Nightmares, and you know what? I have played worse situations with Skaven and come out okay. The Rat Ogre really needs to do some punches. We've only got 2 gutter runners, but we do have Warp Slinger, number 7, who is just the best thrower in the game. And that Skaven team is going to be taking on the Necromantic team here, the Midheim Crawlers. So they're 0-2 and 1. So they are half a win, essentially, behind the Skaven team. Now, this team's rocking in at 1085, so these teams are quite close when it comes to team value. So we're not going to see much in the way of inducements for this match. Hackensack and Frankenweenie, 2 flesh golems here. Frankenweenie does have block. So a strength 4 blocker is going to be quite powerful here. He's going to be facing up against a strength 5 Rat Ogre, so it's going to be strength 4 block versus strength 5 frenzy. It's going to be an interesting one. Stand firm may actually help out in this situation. Now, Not a Fury is rocking blodge now, so we've got a level 3 werewolf who's just doing a phenomenal job. So we've got Not a Fury, the blodge werewolf, and we've got Jaeger von Bites, our vanilla werewolf, who is joining this team now as well. So both werewolves, both flesh golems. We don't have both wraiths. Unfortunately, one of the wraiths died again because it's a wraith and failed regeneration. So Larry the Laundry is going to be rocking it solo here, with Count Thredular being deceased for good this time. Maraguts and Rotten Fingers, we've got 2 ghouls here, no level ups there, and 1, 2, 3, 4 zombie linemen there as well. So 2 rerolls on this team versus the 3 rerolls of the Skaven team. 1085 is fine, no money in the cash, having spent 125 on the werewolves. Now, 2 werewolves on this team. That's 2 speed 8 pieces and frenzy. They are absolute gutter runner hunters. So if we can see Rich use these werewolves to target those gutters early, they get 4 die blocks, right? Not a Fury there with blodge should be able to get in a position to throw 2 dice frenzy, 2 dice more against those dodgies. And the blodger, I've got blodge on the side. Blodge on each side, but the werewolf here with Blodge does have Fury. So it's going to be a really interesting one. We're going to see those flesh golems probably go up against the rat ogre, and the werewolves going up against the gutter runners is going to be pretty tough. There's just one blocker there with Larry the Laundry, but also two dodges. This team is really starting to shape up. The Blodge Werewolf is basically a star player at this point now. And going up against a crippled Skaven team, I am going to have to play this team and fob off both those werewolves to linemen, and that could be very costly for me. When it comes to playing against this team, that rat ogre is going to have to get some removal. Probably avoid the flesh golems. They're not too fast, they're not agile enough, so I'm just going to have to maximise, I think, the rat ogre blitzes. Frankenweenie, though, strength 4 block is going to mince through my team, and not a Fury there. The blodging werewolf is just terrifying. So this team's in a pretty good shape to get some skills. If Maraguts can get a touchdown there, is going to level up, and that'll be another blodger on this team. Ramstein and Phil the Rock, if they throw a random MVP or something, they may be in a position to grab, I don't know, wrestle or block for a zombie lineman. Not too interested in kick with this team at the moment, but some extra cash to get that other Wraith back would be pretty great. Okay, so we've looked at the teams. Let's talk about the matchup, but first of all, the coaches. We are going to have OG Bonehead, Richard Saxby, on the show, and he is going to be running the Necromantic team. I found the most flattering picture of us I could find. There, I think it's just appropriate. So Rich is a solid bash coach. He is a pro with a lot of teams. I think he'd probably go so far as to say the Renegades are kind of his pet team, but certainly not a stranger to the likes of Khemri. So low agility and high strength is definitely in his wheelhouse. So with that in mind, let's talk through the matchup. So we've got a bit of a beat up Skaven team against a starting to flesh out strong Necromantic team. Now, Skaven have got kick, and they do have those gutter runners, and just everybody being strength 7 gives them a massive edge when it comes to the agility side. They are going to need to disengage from the Necromantic team wherever possible. Having 2 strength 4 pieces is just going to hoon through those blocks. Frankenweenie having block is going to be dangerous, and 2 werewolves there with movement 8 and frenzy should put them in a position to be able to sneak through and attack one of the gutter runners if I leave the opportunity there from a Skaven point of view. Now, running the Skaven team, what would my plan be here against Necromantic? I'm going to have to try and maximise removal where I can. Everybody's got regeneration, so that rat ogre taken out anybody will give me some helpful numbers. I'm only armor 8+ everywhere, so I'm going to lose a couple of players, so I need to try and keep those numbers equal. Going to have to protect the gutters and my thrower, so that's 3 of my key players who are vulnerable, so we're going to have to be very careful for those werewolves. If I can maybe get the rat ogre to go 1-to-1 with one of the wolves, might be able to put him in a position to drop one out of the game. That would be really helpful. That would be very helpful, Nuffle. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. As a matchup, Necro versus Skaven, you would normally give the edge to Skaven. But Necro here are starting to farm those SPPs and those skills, and the Skaven team being down a gutter runner and both blitzers does not help. So it's really all going to be around and on some fancy dodgy shenanigans and whether or not the rat ogre can cause any damage. If the Necro team don't suffer any removal and they can start piling those blocks on, it is going to get very bad for the Skaven team very quickly. So let's move on to the most fun part of the Bonehead Championship. We've got the Viewer Championship. So every week when we have a match, we will put out this video here, the preview video, where we talk about everything we've just talked about. The whole idea is to give you guys the best opportunity to predict the match. And not only the match, but the score as well. So you can get up to 3 points from every prediction. If you choose the correct outcome, so Team A is going to win, Team B is going to win, or it's going to be a draw, you will score 1 point. If you get one of the teams score right or the other team score right, you basically get a point for each score that you get right. So if you say it's going to be a 2-all draw and it's a 2-all draw, you will get 3 points. If you say someone is going to win 2-1 and they win 2-0, you will get the win, you'll get the 2, but you won't get the 0. So you can win 0, 1, 2 or 3 points. And at the end of the season, our top rated players are going to win some Bonehead prizes. Now, we'd like to get these predictions in by 9 AM UK Saturday. We are back on standard schedule now, so this game will come out to Patreons around about 9 o'clock Saturday morning. What am I doing this Saturday morning? We're seeing the Hams. That'd be nice. So I'll be up nice and early. So we should be able to get that game out just after 9 o'clock on the Patreon. Now, what we don't want to do is allow the patrons to watch the episode and then put their prediction in. We love those guys, but that's a little bit much. So we'll close the predictions at 9 o'clock. Now, this game will go out to everybody else on Sunday. So, Crawlers versus Nightmares. Get your predictions in now. So, looking at the Roll of Honor so far. So, this is round 4, game 1. So, we've got 6 regular season games left to go. So, that's what? Up to 18 points. You can do this. Even if you're just joining the series now, get 5 games right, you're immediately in first place. Now, at first place right now is Sam O'Dwyer, 1000 Hats, Marco Niossi, and Papa Z. They have been consistent this entire time, and I think scoring some solid 3s will definitely get you up there. Second place, just less than a whole game behind, Carl Messenger, Nicholas Fitzgerald, Waller, Zephyr Baby, and Gecko 8. And 1 point behind them at third is Paul Thompson, Olubayo, Liminality, Austin Faulkner, James Fawkes, Richard Stone, David Warner, Blood Bowl Commissioner, Chris John, X-Black Flag, and Matilda Slunkskin. So it is all to play for. We've got 6 regular season games left to go. That's 18 points plus the 2 semi-finals and the 1 final. So there are a ton of points up for grabs. So if you're just joining us now at the halfway point of the season, get on board, because there is plenty of Blood Bowl left to play. Okay, we've checked the teams, we've checked the coach, we've checked the meta and how it's going to interact. All we've got left to do now is witness Nuffle's carnage this weekend. So get your scores in below, get your predictions in. It's so nice to be back. We're at the halfway mark now, and it is getting very exciting. So these 2 teams sitting in the middle of the tables, only the top 4 are going to go through to the finals. 2 games left to go. It's starting to get quite important. It's starting to get quite dicey for some of these teams. So both of them have everything to play for, and they're both, no, they're not in a good position. The Midheim Crawlers are in a good position roster-wise. The Never Bay Nightmares are going to be punching up, but I like that when I'm running Skavens, because you don't expect them to win, but that just gives me the challenge to run the team like Skaven, like you guys assume I do with every team. Anyway, gonna wrap up the video now. Thank you very much for watching. Get your predictions in, and at the end of the video we'll have the full roll of the Viewer Championship. Thanks very much. We'll see you soon. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content, we get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead Podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.